It's been a tough year for Sydney.
Look, 2020's been rough on a lot of people in Sydney.
Just ask the Deputy Lord Mayor of the City of Sydney, Jess Scully.
People who have had their work disappear, particularly, younger people who work in the arts, in the culture, in hospitality, in retail. They've really copped it. And people who run businesses, particularly small businesses or where they're working independently and they don't have any means of support, they've had a really, really rough time.
We've been with you all the way, continuing to bring you local music and stories that matter. That's one of the reasons that Sydney councils like the City of Sydney partner with 2SER.
We love 2SER because it is about local creativity, stories, and communities. It's really hard to cut through and to speak directly to people in a world that's really mediated by internet giants, and in a world that's often very fragmented, in a media landscape that is quite polarized and corporatized. It's very rare to have a channel like 2SER that is run by passionate people from the local community who want to get stories out in a way that's authentic and real and with really transparent intention.
Community radio stations like 2SER give you the chance to hear content you can't get anywhere else, like the Dictionary Sydney on 2SER Breakfast.
We were sort of, pottering along, and then 2SER spotted us, and we were invited in 2013, I believe it was, to actually come onto the breakfast show and share Sydney's history with an even wider audience. And we've been doing it ever since.
Part of that wider audience is Troy, an avid listener of 2SER Breakfast.
Yeah, well, my name is Troy. I'm 57 years old, and I was always one for fiddling around with the radio stations and seeing whatever took my fancy at that particular time. And I come across 2SER, and I like to hear positive, nice things in the morning just to get my day going in the right direction. And I love the music you play. You seem to know a lot about the music, and you have a great interest in music, and very enthusiastic about it. And I'm learning a few things myself when you talk about the different music that you play. A lot of artists that I've never heard before, but you obviously know quite a bit about most of them, and I think it's terrific. It's really great for me to think that in terms of the future, there's all these great artists going around producing all this terrific music.
After a tough year, it's more important than ever to give artists a chance to share their music and you a chance to listen to them. And it's not just local artists and great music that we love. In 2020, we have a desperate need for independent journalism.
I think 2SER has really established itself as, almost more than a community radio station. I mean, I think it is part of the broader media landscape that is broadly recognised by an awful lot of people. And I think you'd be surprised at how many people actually listen to the station live and if not, then download its podcast.
That's Monica Attard. After a long career as a journalist, she's now partnering with us on program Fourth Estate.
I think more broadly speaking, and particularly in the urban areas, it's the ability of community radio to take a few more risks, if you like, pushing the boundaries a little bit further and harder and making people think more broadly, more deeply about some of the big social, economic, political issues of our times. I think that it plays a particularly important role in making people think and covering things in a kind of more fearless way.
We're able to bring you impartial news coverage courtesy of our newsroom, run by long-time newsreader Jeff Field.
I left Today FM in 2015. There was a message on the phone from the general manager of 2SER asking if I'd like to come over and set up a newsroom and teach students. And I'm very aware of 2SER because I used to listen to a lot of their shows, Gay Waves and various other current affairs shows when I first came to Sydney as a very young man. So I was very aware of the importance of 2SER and some of the great things they did. Count 55 students have gone on to get jobs in the industry, and that, to me, makes my job worthwhile.
So why should you become a subscriber? To keep it coming. By signing up to support 2SER, you're not just helping local independent artists and news, you're helping your home. Subscribe to help Sydney thrive.